Call HALALYAM law, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, to teach them well. Peace and salutations be to the Lord for elect. My brother Tazwa, I'm coming at you from the prophets of Babylon camp here in Tampa, Florida. This lesson is going to be an in transit. Quick in transit. Going into a personal experience I had the other day. And it's just to show you that, to prove to you that these scriptures ain't lying when it tells you how things are going to be. You know, the scriptures ain't exaggerating or selling dreams, man. You know, the things that the scriptures tell you are real life words. These things happen in real life. You know, people like to call the Bible a fairy tale, but the things that are written in it are coming to pass. You know, these are things that happened before, things that happen now, and things that will happen, as read in this book. That's why the scriptures say, none shall want her mate, none of these shall fail. You know, seek ye out of the book and read, none of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. You know, because none of the prophecies in that book shall fail. You know, and also none of the guidelines are going to fail. These things are here for a reason, and they've been here over 2,000 years for a reason. You know, you can't find any book that's been more durable. But what happened was there was a storm, like a storm came through. A storm came through a few nights ago, and I got this like doorbell thing, this Ring doorbell camera. You guys just heard of it. Basically, it records like what's going on. You know, when someone comes up to your door, it records when someone's coming up to your door, or who's at your door, who's knocking, whatever. You know, or if there's something moving in front of your door, it records all those things and sends it to you. You know, so when you get one of those, they give you like a protection plan or whatever, and they give you like the app has like a neighborhood concept where everybody in the area that got Ring cameras, they are linked on they're linked on that app to talk about what's going on in the area. Oh, this will happen in the neighborhood. Be careful for this guy. You know, for an example. Or what happened on this street, which should probably be up the street from my house. That'll tell you. You know. So on that app, you know, I was getting notifications of people posting on there, and I seen like multiple notifications. You know, did somebody break in, or you know, Slack cannot break in. Multiple notifications saying our house blacked out, asking if people are having blackouts because they were having blackouts, and then matter of fact, I got it right here. Power outage, you know. Somebody said power's out. Does anyone else not have power? Another person said, anyone else electricity or lights flickered? Another person said, is there anyone's electric out? And another one said, did anyone lose power? I'm off of Humphrey behind KFC and have no power, flickered on and off. And then let's see. Power is out at Grand Oasis at Carrollwood. We were in our living room and someone tried to open our door very briefly and hard. There are now fireworks and car alarms going off. Be safe and lock your doors. So these people were in the house during the power outage, and someone tried to come in and open their door very briefly and hard. You know, seeing that the power was out, they tried to go and take that house. As soon as they got the opportunity to, they tried to get in there and break in, you know, because the power was out, darkness was spread, and people were confused. Some people were afraid, some people saw this opportunity to get over on another person. So you see, this was right up the street from my house. You said somebody tried to open this door very briefly and very hard, you know, and then they said car alarms are going off and fireworks are going off, and you had in the comment section to that, people were saying like, call the police, whatever, get some help. But what the police gonna do? This guy tried to get in like he said in the comment, he said very briefly and hard. So he tried to break in real quick with force, but it was very briefly. So he seen that the door was locked and he got away. He just ran away because, you know, there's nothing he could do, you know. There's nothing you can do about that. Let me see if I can grab this one driver. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Alright, so these things are going to take place in the cities, okay, in your neighborhoods, whatever. Because of the pride of these people, this is coming upon them. You know, what's going to happen when they get hit with the EMP, or this devil shut the lights off? People going to panic, and crime rate is going to shoot up to the roof. You know, people talking about call the police, see if you can get some help. But by the time the police get there, this guy already did what he needed to do and got away. You know, he ain't finna wait there for the police to get there. He finna handle his business and leave. You know, and by the time he could have killed the whole family and got and escaped out the backyard. You know, however it could have happened. These things will happen, you know, when lights do go out, because they will. Lights will go out. But I just wanted to show you that how for an instant when the power went out, and they're talking about the power was off for 3 hours, for that instant somebody was already trying to break into their door and get their goods, man. You know, take their goods. Okay, and your woman also would be considered goods. Because a woman says, whosoever getteth a wife, scripture says, whosoever getteth a wife beginneth a possession. So she's also a possession, you know. So you worry about them stealing your possession, your money, your jewelry, cars, maybe your clothes, TVs, whatever. You know, they'll steal your woman too, right there, in your living room, in your face. Hold you down while it happens right there in your face in your living room, huh? You know, I saw a Reddit story like that somewhere. I was watching Reddit videos of the crazy stuff that happened to people, and one dude said he was in his room playing the game with his headphones on, and while he was playing the game with his headphones on, he couldn't hear anything, but the whole time someone had broken into their house and was raping his wife in the living room. She was screaming for help, but he couldn't hear her, man. You know? So like I said, the R word, they don't take my shit down, but you know, there was raping on dude's wife while he was in the, he was upstairs in the room playing the game. And when he finally heard it, you know, which was already too late by then. This woman had already been explored, you know. When he finally heard it, he took off his headphones and ran downstairs and shot the dude, you know. That just go to show you that these men ain't playing no games, man. You got them headphones on, anything could be. He had headphones on and somebody was in his shit taking his possession, you know. Ain't no telling what this man had. You can't go back in there, woman, you know. You can't go back into that woman, man. Okay? That woman has been defiled. That man probably came in with a deadly disease and went inside your woman, you know. And that's just the things that's coming upon these wicked. Okay? That's one of the worst things that can happen to a man who loves his wife, is for her to get taken because of his negligence. You know, he could have done something. It was right in his vicinity. He could have done something, but because of his negligence, he was so distracted. You know, he was on the game playing on the headphones and shit. Okay, trying to conquer worlds in the game. Someone was conquering his wife in his living room, and while she was screaming for help, he couldn't hear her until it was already too late, man. You know. He said that woman. He said his wife was forever scarred from that. She's still scarred to this day from that, man. You know, and she had PTSD. You can't touch her without her shaking up. You know. But this is what's going down in this world, man. This world is a wicked place, and it's getting more and more wicked. The scripture tells you, you know, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. People gonna be careless. They ain't gonna care if that's your 7-year-old daughter. They ain't gonna care if that's your 6-year-old son. Okay, because these men like little boys these days. All right. Then your kid's gonna get eaten by other men, other people. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right. A man ain't gonna have no pity upon his neighbor, and a man ain't gonna spare his neighbor. Okay. They ain't gonna care. Okay. Well, because when times get hard, guess what? The neighbors gonna be your biggest enemies. They're gonna be they're gonna be all around you. You're gonna be surrounded by enemies. As for those people that live in the cities, you know, those people that live in the cities gonna die the fastest because they're surrounded by people, and all these people are potential enemies. Okay, imagine that the whole world turning into zombies, which majority of these people are zombies. They got the stick-a-wick. All right, they don't do the work of the Lord or trust in the Lord, or they don't even know who the Lord is. These people are zombies, so they are all potential enemies. All right. Now, the Lord can help you through some of these people also. Okay, but that don't redeem them from being a potential enemy. The scriptures say, when a man's ways please the Lord, he shall make even his enemies to be at peace with him. So it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy the houses with the sword, and spoil their goods. And then they spoiled that man's woman. He played a video game. He came in and spoiled his woman, man. You know? And who knows what that guy would have done if he got inside that house during that blackout. Okay, it could have been a lot worse. You don't know if he had a sword on him or not. You know? He could have got in there and went on a killing spree and got away during the blackout the whole time. But when the lights go out, that's when you're going to hear your neighbors screaming. All right? And then you're going to be sitting down with that, you know, these people are going to be sitting down with that anxious fear, that great fear in their mind, thinking that their house is next. As soon as they hear their neighbors getting ran down on, man. You know? The screams of women. A woman's scream is her natural defense system. A man's voice can't get that high pitch. That thing sound like a fucking a high pitched ringing noise or an alarm. You know, if a woman screams, that's gonna put fear in you. Okay, you only hear screams like that in the movies. You know, or unless these women will play around and try to scream like that. But you're gonna hear screams like that everywhere. women getting spoiled and ravished, men getting killed and destroyed, children getting killed and destroyed. Okay, these men are going to get, these houses are going to get plundered of their resources, plundered of their possessions. Okay, plundered of their belongings, because somebody else going to want it more than you do. Somebody else going to really want it, and they're going to take it. They're going to, Scripture say they're going to do what they have the power to do. The power in their hands to do, man. You know, they ain't sparing. They ain't sparing. Okay, they ain't sparing and they ain't caring. They finna take what they want. You know. It says, in fact, I'm gonna grab it here. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, that he shall be saved out of it. So that day is great, man. None is like it. Okay, that's what the scripture's telling you. There ain't gonna be no day like it. There hasn't ever been a day like it. Which that day is just gonna be a time period, you know, where all hell gonna be breaking loose. And you see how many people it is in the world. You ever get caught in traffic, you know, just imagine all these people being outside of their cars and in the open. Imagine the EMP hitting and all these cars shutting down and all these people just standing. You know, I'm on the highway right now, so I'm visualizing, you know, and this highway is literally stacked all the way back with traffic. You can't even go as fast. You can't really go over 30 miles per hour, man. All right. But imagine all these cars just getting EMP'd and all of them stopping and breaking down and everybody standing outside of their cars trying to figure out what to do. What happens next, man? Then all of a sudden anxiety sets in, panic sets in. As people begin to panic and to tear at each other. You know, you ever seen those traps? Those videos with the mouse traps, the rat traps? When they'd be recording like a mouse trap and it's like a sticky trap. So when they get in, when they go in here to get the food, they get stuck, sticking to that little rat platform, the little rat trap, you know? And they don't just catch one rat, they catch the whole fucking house. They catch the whole platoon of rats, you know? But what happens, these people can be likened to rats, man, you know? With their uncontrollable lusts, their uncontrollable urges. Okay, the scripture calls them natural brute beasts because they can't control their natural urges. Okay, they go and do what they want. They do what they will. Okay, so these are rats. These people are rats. So what these rats do when they get stuck on these traps, they begin to eat each other. You know, instead of helping each other get out of it, they eat each other instead. And Joker said that. Joker said that in the Batman movie, man. You watch one of the old Batman movies of Christian Bale. I believe it's Dark Knight Rises, or it's the one before Dark Knight Rises. I think it's just Dark Knight. When when Joker blew up the hospital, he said, "You think I'm crazy, but I'm just ahead of the curve." You know, you watch when all hell breaks loose, when shit hits the fan. He said these people gonna eat each other. These people that Batman want to save so bad, people that Batman were trying to save so bad, you know, when shit hit the fan, they not gonna save each other. They gonna eat each other, man. They gonna kill, spoil, and destroy each other. And that's just the way it's set up to be in the scriptures, man. And the Bible and prophecy. It's destined to be this way. You can't do anything about it. You can have as many speeches as you want. You can have as many dreams as you want. I have a dream. That's not gonna change these people. These people are monsters. All right? You're about to see how devastating a monster can be. A monster such as a human can be. A monster such as an Edomite can be. A monster such as a wicked ass 2/3 nigga can be. You're gonna see these people at their most distressful moments. So that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So it's Jacob's trouble we coming into, where Jake is going to be in trouble. All right? It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. So the Lord's going to punish Israel so bad that the whole world's going to feel it. The whole world's going to be thrown into a swirl, man, into a whirlwind. And these people are going to try to get back on their feet. They're going to get knocked down every time they try to get up. The Lord going to knock their ass down. All right? Man might find a can of peaches in that day. Just for him to get knocked upside the head and another man take it. Just for him to fall for a trap with a woman and try to share peaches with her. And some other man come out and take his can of peaches. You know, we find a woman just sitting out there. Help, help, I'm hungry. Maybe a fair woman too. She may have found a spring or something to bathe in. She's sitting out there looking like a dessert cake. Fucking lemon lime cake. Key lime pie. You know, in a dry land. If you ever seen that movie Mad Max? You ever seen that movie Mad Max? The whole movie was fucking violent. And it was just a bunch of there was just a bunch of aggression and dirt in a desert, killing and blood, and rough men, rock music, and these men were out to get each other, man. These men were riding, and they were out to kill each other. In the midst of all that death and destruction, you had this car, this big ass truck open up, this tanker open up or whatever, and a bunch of fine ass women came out. It looked like it was clean, ain't been touched. It looked like gold, looked like treasure just came out, somebody's treasure in the middle of the fucking battlefield. You know, all of them were wearing white, all of them were fine, all of them were youthful, okay? And their skin was all clean. And these women came out, you know, looking all delicate in the midst of the battlefield. That's how these women gonna be trapping you niggas in that day, man. Okay, they gonna come out looking like a precious flower. It's gonna be a desert. It's gonna be a flower, a precious flower, precious white flower in the middle of a desert. Everything else destroyed. You're gonna see a little white flower sitting out. You don't think that's a trap? These niggas gonna fall for that so quick. Oh shit, look at that woman. Damn. I ain't seen nothing like it. Yo, let's share this can of peaches. You hungry? I got you, baby. We gonna eat together. I'm gonna take care of you. 5 of the niggas come out, bust you upside your head, take everything you got, and then eat your ass. And your can of peaches. Can of peaches gonna be dessert. You gonna be the main course. You know? But these niggas think that it's gonna be a game in these days. We keep telling you, get right with the Lord before the time comes. You don't believe it. Scriptures say if they do these things in a green tree, what shall they do in the dry? So these people are killing and robbing and raping and spoiling, destroying each other now. What are they gonna do when shit hits the fan? When you ain't got no access to food and water, when you ain't got no access to lights, you know? You ain't got no access to the police. The police ain't gonna be answering the phone. If lights go out, you ain't gonna be able to call the police. No signal. Shit, these police gonna be fighting for their lives. Your so-called guardians are gonna be regular men in that day. They're gonna get off the clock and they're gonna go home and try to protect their families from niggas, from hunters. You know, these people are gonna become like hunters. They're gonna be hunting each other down, man. Zombies. Okay. Book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. So in that time, the time that we speak of, Jacob's trouble, friends are going to fight against each other like enemies. Friends. Men may have been best friends all their life. May have known each other from the youth up. Okay? Then shit hits the fan. Now they fighting over pork's ass cheek, a slab of ham. Hey nigga, this my ham. I'm gonna say you can split it, bro. You know you got no food. Nah, nigga, go find your own ham. I found this ham first. I'm hungry. Niggas gonna become super niggas in that day. You thought you seen a nigga, guess what? You gonna see super niggas in that day. These niggas gonna transform. Alright, because the scripture says it's gonna be like a time it's never been before. Alright? So you've seen Jake out of desperation before. How much more in the time we're coming into when everybody's in desperation? All right, in a time where you're going to have to rely on the Lord, YAHAWASHI, who the world has forsaken. You know? The world don't know the Lord. So how are they going to be able to call upon the Lord? They don't know. People going to be calling upon JC, and these Edomite soldiers from the UN going to kick through your door and beat your ass. And then take you out, haul you off, strip you butt naked, beat your ass again, and then make you worship them. You know? And as harsh as it sounds, it's going to be a lot harsher. I can't make it sound any more harsh than it's going to be. You know? Because I'm telling you things that I've seen, that I've heard of. But we're about to witness things that we have never seen or heard of in Jacob's trouble, man. You gonna find out what a man can do to another man out of desperation, out of wickedness. When the Lord sends these spirits in the earth, and everybody's anxiety is turned up to the max. Everybody's hostility is turned up to the max. Everybody gonna suspect each other. And everybody's suspicious of each other. Guess what? Guns start ringing. Hey, why you looking at me like that? Why you looking at me like that, man? You good? You good? Don't look at me like that. Especially Jake. Niggas always got a mean mug. You don't want to be in the hood when Jacob's trouble pop off, boy. But likewise in the fucking suburbs with these Edomites. Because they're going to hunt you down first. They're going to have your ass on the picnic table. Chopping off each body part first and sharing it with the neighborhood. These Edomites get together and they got something called HOA. Where it's all the Karens of the neighborhood. And all the fucking Chads of the neighborhood banding together to persecute Jake that's in the neighborhood. The very few Jake that's in that neighborhood, they're going to persecute him. You know, make it hard for them to live there. All right, they're gonna find your ass, put you on the picnic table, and chop you up piece by piece, serve you with your can of peaches on the side. You know, and you're gonna be considered to be a full course meal for them. All right. They're gonna have a meal and they're gonna pull out them KKK hats. All right, guys, we ate today, but what we gonna eat tomorrow? You know, then they're gonna bring your son out. You know, oh, he ain't got that much meat on his bones. Maybe we should bring his son and his daughter for tomorrow. You know, that's what's going down, man. People gonna rally up. You're gonna have people rallying together. You're gonna have certain bands and certain groups that's gonna be together. Militia groups, gangs. These guys are gonna stick together, and then the time's gonna get so bad that they're gonna betray each other. You know, when things ain't working out in their favor no more, they're gonna start betraying each other. But the men of the Lord are gonna be taken care of. Okay, so we got nothing to fear. This is actually more exciting for us than scary. You know, what a time to be alive. You know. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. That's crazy. They said 3 hours because they said that blackout lasted in 3 hours. You know, and that was enough time for someone to try to break in and enter and take what they want, man. You know. It reminds me of this video I was watching. It was a funny video, and it just had me crying because they had this crackhead Jake come up to someone's door, and he had like a camera, kind of like the Ring camera I got. The guy came up, you know, he knocked on the door and said, "Anybody home?" He said, "Yeah, I'm at home, bro." He said, "Yeah, I came to see if you need your yard mowed." He said, "Why you got a crowbar in your hand if you come to cut your yard?" He said, "This? Oh, this to start my lawnmower. You ain't here, are you?" He said, "Yeah, I'm at home, bro." Yeah, "No, you ain't here, is you? This one of them answer machine camera things?" He said, "No, I'm home, bro." He said, the fucking crackhead said, "Well, if you're here, come answer the door." He said, because if not, I'm going to get what I need, baby. You better answer the door, nigga. He started cussing him out. He said, hey, get your ass on my porch. Get your ass on my motherfucking porch. You know? I didn't know he could do. He wasn't home. You know? So these fucking blackout hits, you know, and that's how they want to really get things rolling, is with a blackout. That's how panic really sets in, man. The shit start blacking out. So the storm kick in. That's when the freaks come out at night, man. The freaks come out at night in the dark, where you can't see them, like ninjas hiding. You know, they cloak themselves in darkness so that you can't see them coming, and they take what they want. You know, that's gonna give criminals the crime spree of their lives, man. Lucky. I'm gonna close out. Just wanna grab one more real quick. I'm gonna end it off on that. The book of Proverbs. Book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 20. Verse 26. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 26. It says, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, when you're just in the most desperate situation possible, when you're distressed, you're stressed out, completely stressed, and you're in anguish because you're afraid, you're miserable, you're desperate, you're suffering because you're hungry. Guess what it says? Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. The Lord said, you're going to mock when your fear cometh. He's going to mock you. How are you going to mock you? Through the nigga that's stealing and robbing you. You're going to try to call on the Lord when you're getting robbed. Nah, nigga, don't call on the Lord. No, you ain't want to call on him before. And that's going to be the Lord mocking these niggas, man. You know, they going to say some shit that's going to sound very personal between you and the Lord. That's when you're going to know it's the Lord speaking through that man. You know, the Lord mocking you through him. You know. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Then you want to see the Lord. Then you want to ask at the Lord's mouth. All this time you spent running down to Egypt, and asking for their help instead of asking at the Lord's mouth. Now you're going to hear from the Lord, because you're gonna be in so much trouble and distress. You're gonna find out that Egypt can't save you no more. They can't help you. Shit, they can't help themselves. They're trying to get back on their feet. They ain't gonna be able to get back on their feet. You know, so you're gonna call on the Lord, but He said He ain't gonna answer you. It says, for that they hated knowledge. The Lord gonna remember how you hated knowledge. How you told the prophets, nah, go get you a bag, go get a job. How you told the prophets, no, I'm not trying to hear that right now. How you told the prophets, all right, I'm gonna come back next week, and never showed up. You know, how you procrastinated your way through the world, man, through your life. How you stayed away from the Lord, from the truth, like it was a plague. You know, how you hated righteousness, how you were disgusted with righteousness. The Lord will remember all those things when you need Him the most. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord, YAHAWASHI. So He gave you an option. Everybody have received their option. Scriptures say the gospel was preached unto all, you know, but not all received it, not being mixed with faith. Okay, so everybody had that chance. Everybody had that option of life and death. You know, but the Scripture tells you in Deuteronomy, behold, I have set before you life and death. Choose life that thou mayest live. Okay. Okay, but they chose death. So now when death is right there and knocking on their door, guess what? They're going to want to call on the Lord. Then they're going to want to try to choose life, but it was too late. You already made your decision. When death is in front of you, it's because you already made your decision in the beginning. A while ago, the Lord has already received the answer to your decision. Are you going to fight the Lord? Say, you're going to rise up and fight against the evildoers for me. You said no. You said no. So don't forget about that when Jacob's trouble hit and you need the Lord, nigga. You know, when your stomach empty, people are spoiling, destroying each other. Your ass hanging from one toe. They got you tied up by a rope from one toe. Or you hanging from your nuts. They got you tied up by your nuts. You hanging from the ceiling by your nuts on a rope. You know. Then you want to call on the Lord. Nah, man. You had the chance. You had the opportunity. Everybody was presented with that opportunity to choose life and instead of death, and most are going to choose death. Scriptures say, like as a wave is greater than a drop. That's how many people are going to be saved compared to how many people are going to be killed. That droplet compared to a big ass tsunami wave. You know, hey, one of them nuclear radioactive tsunami waves, man. Putin talk about sitting over here. 130. Proverbs 1:30 says, they would none of my counsel. Meaning they ain't want to hear none of the Lord's counsel. It says, they despise all my reproof. They all the correction that the prophets was handing out, these people, you Jakes, despised it. You were the Lord's people, yet you despise his warnings. You despise his instructions. So when the shit comes that he was warning you against, guess what? You're going to try to call on him then, but it's going to be too late. It ain't going to be no more... Hey, even the cop said, I believe it was during like a hurricane or something like that. Brother, I bar banging it all the time, where everybody was in distress and everybody was calling on 911. And the 911 that got to a point where it was like, hey, they're too busy. You know, they can't help everybody. And they told somebody to call upon their God. Hey, we can't help you. Call upon your God. Imagine hearing that when you chose death, when you chose not to serve the Lord. You know, imagine calling the police and they tell you that. When you told the prophets, fuck them. Hey, even the scriptures say that. Call upon the gods you chose. Let them deliver you in your time of trouble. Don't call upon the Lord. No, the Lord said, don't call upon me. Don't call upon the niggas that you chose to be your... Hey, the scriptures say that for all their life they receive benefits. Second Esdras, paraphrasing. They ain't know the Lord because they were receiving these benefits. They had the government backing them up. You know, they had all this government funding and government aids. You know, they didn't know what it was like to rely on the Lord and trust in the Lord to get your bills paid, trust in the Lord to eat something tonight, trust in the Lord to get home safely. They didn't know what it was like to do those things. They always had 911 in their pocket. They always had food stamp office up the road. You know, Jake can tell you everything about government benefits, but I can't tell you the first thing about the Lord. And they think they know the Lord because they go to these churches, but these churches are businesses. It says, therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way. The Lord will give you up to your own way. Yeah, you want to live independent? You want to be big honcho, head honcho? Guess what? We're going to see how head honcho handles the fucking world against him. Okay? I was watching a video before I went to sleep last night. And it was Rick Ross. He was at this nigga was foolish. He went to a Canadian show where Drake is from. Drake, because clearly Drake Canadian. He went to a Canadian show and he played the Kendrick Lamar diss that Kendrick did on Drake at the show, and the people, the crowd started jumping his ass, man. Him and his bodyguards. And he couldn't, all he was doing was hiding behind his bodyguards. He said, come on, nigga, come on, yeah, I want you. He hid behind the bodyguards. You know, he thought that shit was funny until the people started getting up and wild on his ass. It's the same for you head honcho niggas. You think you head honcho, you got all this pride. Rick Ross loved to talk about in all his music videos how he that guy, but he wasn't that guy that night. When everybody started beating up on the security guards, I'm talking about his security guards getting their ass beat, And that's who he trusted in to protect him, the security guards. What you gonna do then when your security guards fail? Who you gonna call on? Now it's just you. That's how you know it's gonna be. In that day, it's gonna be a man and his works. Now, if your works, scripture say, if your works were of this world, wood and stone, it's gonna burn with this world. Okay. If your works were gold and silver, you know the works of the Lord, serving the Lord, YAHAWASHI, it's gonna pass through the fire. You know, it's gonna make it. You gonna make it. You're gonna be good. The brothers that have been serving the Lord this whole time are gonna be good, man. These terrors are coming upon those that hated the Lord, that hated his work and his truth. You know. So hearing this, brothers, don't be disenchanted. Don't feel what's the word I'm looking for, man? We're just gonna stick with disenchanted, man. Don't feel like your hopes are dashed. Don't feel like don't feel hopeless. You should be hopeful because you serve the Lord. You've been praising the Lord, YAHAWASHI. You may ask, what is praising the Lord gonna get me? You're about to find out. You know, that voucher you got is about to be redeemed. The Lord gonna remember all your righteousness, and He gonna act upon it. He gonna help you. He gonna deliver you. You know. But hey, I truly hope this lesson was edifying and helpful to your Akim and Agwath to listen to truth and sincerity. Okay. So next time, I give all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Shalom.